Hi guys, quick note before we start. This is now the 10th time I had to re-render this video and the 3rd time I had to take it down and repost the video because of copyright. So I had to change the voices a bit of the characters to hopefully not let it get picked up, unfortunately. If you guys have any tips on how not to get copyright striked when you add commentary to movies reviews, which I thought was legal, please let me know. I would love to continue Movie Mondays with you guys, but if it's this much trouble, we're gonna have to scrap it. Also, 18,472 Yoshi Bucks to whoever is watching this again. Let's start. Fat suits. Fat suits have been used in movies. Undercover experiments like Dr. Oz.
I would look in the mirror as I was wearing the fat suit and not recognize myself. It was as though someone else had invaded my personal space.
Tyra Banks and many other shows that wanted to give their audience a glimpse of the life of a fat person. But most importantly, fat suits have been used in comedy.
I'm a fat guy!
Back in the early 2000s, and as you move back in history, it was socially acceptable to use being fat as a joke.
Hey, Tubby.
Who, me?
Yeah, who me? Who me? You, yeah, you, Tubby. I wish I had 100 customers like you. See you tomorrow, Tubby!
Yes, my little youngins, back in my time, that was the joke. Obesity. Are you watching this while fat? Well, that would be funny. Your body is the butt of the joke. Fat jokes, everyone, was the epitome of jokes in the early 2000s and so on. Yes, fat suits and prosthetics to make thin or average size actresses and actors have been used in films that didn't outrageously dramatize what it's like being fat, but for the most part, at least from what I've seen, comedic movies, shows, and skits love wearing fat suits to get that sweet laughter from their audience. Unfortunately, fat being the punchline in jokes made obese people in my time, I like to call these the best years, and also these obese people are probably known as millennials, to feel bad about their body size. Well, many of these fat millennials have had enough and are using their voices to fight back against film and stand on their soapboxes on TikTok and tell the world why 1, fat jokes are not in fact funny, and 2, fat suits are extremely damaging to people like them.
The reason there's not a lot of outrage about it is because fat people are tired. We're tired of fighting for our right to just exist in our bodies and not for it to not be a joke.
And you're just trying to make her look like she's fat. I think that's where it goes left for me.
What they're gonna do is put someone who has a name behind it and put them in a fat suit because they keep doing that. And I am sick of it.
Everybody involved, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? How did you think that was gonna affect people like me?
The fact that they're not putting him in a fat suit to play Robotnik makes me so fucking happy.
Hollywood, take note. That is totally an option. You can just cast a thin person in a fat role and not make the character fat for that interpretation of the character. I mean, yes, it makes for a lack of fat representation, but at least you're not being actively fat phobic.
Y'all want us dead. That's all I keep thinking is you just want us dead. You want us to not be here.
This Brittany, is she the only person who can really play this role?
Come on.
I mean,
so it's 2022 and we're still hiring skinny people and putting them in fat suits. I am confusion.
I think it's insulting visually to watch when someone's just putting on a fat suit.
I didn't know it was gonna affect me this much.
A thin person is never gonna be more right for a fat role than a fat person.
Of course, being a millennial myself who struggled with body image issues, weight issues, and had a love of food and overeating it while I watched Pokemon, the first person I think of when it comes to fat suits was Eddie Murphy, and boy did he have a thing for fat suits.
Excuse me, ma'am? We have a 300-pound weight limit.
I don't weigh no damn 300 pounds. I weigh 165.
In fact, in one of my favorite childhood movies, where Eddie Murphy, who was the producer, played almost every single fat character that appeared on screen. Old fat man, old fat woman, middle-aged bald man, not as old as the other old lady, but still older and fat. Not this one, he couldn't pull that off, but if he could, he probably would have. He also played the skinny person. God damn it, Eddie Murphy, leave some roles. Literally, for the fat people. Eddie Murphy's movie, The Nutty Professor, where they covered covered all the fat stereotypes from eating loud, farting, can't fit into chairs, did exceptionally well in its time. Over $25 million and reaching a domestic sum of $128 million and over $145 million internationally, for a total of $273,961,019 worldwide. And as you guessed it, in that movie, being fat was the punchline in almost every joke made on screen, mixed in with some black jokes, but I think that's okay because, well, he's black. I don't know, I'm sure somebody was offended about it. And if they weren't offended back then, well, they'll probably bring it up now on TikTok. Well, someone who was offended by the movie was American singer, songwriter, rapper, and body positive activist Lizzo. Maybe I'm using the wording wrong, but according to the articles, Eddie Murphy's film and his depiction of the fat, nutty professor made her feel sad while watching it. Lizzo says, "But he definitely had a collection of fat suit movies that people would be laughing at, but I would feel sad. Like the scene where he opens his drawer and there are all these candies and M&Ms in his desk. I could literally cry right now thinking about it. People around me were laughing, but I hide food too. I feel him. I feel sympathy and empathy for him." Many people in the body positive realm and the even deeper, heavier, and more sedentary fat positive realm want fat suits gone. They also want the stereotypical depiction of fat people to halt on screen. So pretty much what that means is the overeating on the couch, being sedentary, having a goal to lose weight, and just being jolly and fat. Because these are only stereotypes and there is no truth to them at all. Fat people don't ever overeat and they absolutely never sit on the couch. Nobody knows where that stereotype came from. It is harmful and not true. And lastly, according to the body positive group, these type of movies are not funny. Unfortunately, the Nutty Professor has all of the qualities the fat acceptance movement fight against. Stereotypes, fat suits, and oh god, oh no, a goal to be thin. As a child, I found the movie completely hilarious, easy to watch, and very relatable. I actually related so much to what Lizzo said because I also would laugh and cry during the movie because it just related so much to me and my addiction to food. The people in the movie that Eddie Murphy played reminded me of all my extremely obese family members, and his frustration with his body and his extreme want to change his body to be slimmer was just all too real. And I would watch the movie in 1996, little 6-year-old me in my half bunk bed on my little tiny white TV and just cry while watching it, while eating, just like he does in the movie. And today, we're gonna watch it. Welcome to Movie Mondays.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
This video is sponsored by me and my protein donut company and my weight loss support group. For more information, click the links below in my description, and thank you all for the support. Hi, welcome back to the channel and my series Movie Mondays, or whenever I post this. Let's get started and watch one of my favorite childhood shows, The Nutty Professor. So the scene opens up with the Nutty Professor, Mr. Clump, watching workout videos.
Come on! That's right, shake it, honey, shake it!
And he literally just keeps it on in the background while he gets ready for work, because one day he maybe will actually do it before work instead of just watching. So in this video, they do all the fat stereotypes, like every single one. He opens the fridge with his big fat hands. They made sure to get them fat hands, and there's like a pig thing in there.
I'm a pony, yeah!
Yes, of course it oinks. And then in that fridge next to the pig toy, or whatever you call this, there are the Lance Perkins diet meals and drinks. All things fat people try, all things fat people keep in their fridge, all things fat people probably don't eat or overeat and then fail at. Or at least that's what people think. Many thin people have I had them in my fridge and I wouldn't eat them. They're usually gross. Or if they were good, I would overeat them. So the Nutty Professor works at a college. He is a professor, get it? So he's on his way to work, but things are a little nutty at the college, and for some reason there are a bunch of guinea pigs all around campus. Coming through the air vents, in the classroom, just, scurrying into men's pants. Just giving women false hope about what's gonna happen in the bedroom, and apparently Professor Clump, he is the reason that this is all happening. Stupid, fat Clump. See, he's like the whole, stupid, awkward, fat guy shit.
Professor Clump. Morning. Good morning. Morning. Morning.
So, okay, so we just have to pause. Notice the trombone effect. Fat-phobic movie. They always do that in these type of fat movies. to show how fat the fat person is. I have been guilty of this. Sometimes when I have Yoshi walking around, I put the trombone effect to just show, you know, she thick. She a big girl. She don't mind. She would love to be bigger. But they always have the trombone while the fat person like waddles around, really to show us, make sure the viewer knows that person's fat on screen and you need to know it. Do you have it yet? Do we need to put more, you know, oomph into this trombone? You know this person's fat, right? Everyone got it? So once that beat drops, they go into ultra fat phobia in this movie. He struggles up the stairs. So once he reaches the top, then he finally sees the whole guinea pig brigade going on. And there's a guinea pig getting shot out of a leaf blower. So apparently, Professor Klump, who works in the science department, he's running these experiments, and they experiment on the hamster. So he was working late, and his fatness got in the way of a few things.
The cages, what happened? That is the most peculiar thing, Jason, because I distinctly remember locking up last night. I locked these cages, and I picked up my portfolio and turned around to the left.
And the only guinea pig that did not get out was Shelly. And Shelly and Professor Klump share a very, very close bond. Why? Because she's fat. Shelly is fat as hell.
Hello, Shelly. How are you today, my little powder puff? Yeah. I did see you. Sir?
So Shelly is being tested for something magical, something that many people in this universe and in our real life universe would want. I think it's so powerful, something that many people would want, that every single person in the fat positive movement would sprint. Yeah, I'm not even roll. They would use their legs to get this solution, or this magic pill, or magic liquid, shall I say. Oh yeah, you guessed it, the magic pill that just makes you lose weight quickly, fast, no work, no exercise, no diet needed.
3 ounces? She's lost 3 ounces since the last feed. Must be some kind of mistake. No, Jason, her entire molecular structure's been realigned. My God, she lost 20% of her body fat in 1 feeding.
So that's pretty much the whole thing. He is the head of the science department. He's got a few students that are working and studying this new drug that Professor Klump created that helps people lose weight instantly with absolutely no work. And Professor Klump is the fat, quirky, nice, socially awkward teacher where his big fat butt gets in the way all the time.
So as our senior used to say, let's get busy!
So then we are introduced to Dean Richmond, who looks like me when people eat extremely loud. And of course, in true obese fashion, Professor Klump has issues fitting into the chair, which is fat phobic. How dare they not have chairs with open arms, no arms, so that their butt can fit. I think that was in one of the videos. They said Fat Positive Movement said they need chairs without armrests so they can fit. And if you don't, you're fat phobic. So fat phobia here too. Honestly, count every single time there's a fat phobic thing in here. I think I counted like 5. I'm sure of it. And so Dean Richmond asks a question that any dean would ask their employee.
Anything I can get for you? Juice, coffee, rack of lamb?
Yeah, if that's what you're providing, honey, give me the plate. So obviously the dean is upset because of current events, current gerbil or guinea pig events that happened on their campus. And apparently the guinea pig that got blown out of a leaf blower and into someone's mouth was the person that funded the science program. And now she's hospitalized and does not fund the science department. And Dean Richmond is not happy.
Now listen to me carefully, you fat tub of goo.
So apparently Professor Klump is so weird, so awkward, just so odd that he scares away any person that wants to fund the science program.
For years, you've single-handedly alienated every wealthy donor we've had. Air conditioning schools are outdrawing us.
I guess his butt is always just accidentally opening experimented on animals' cages.
We've lost so much money. Red is our school color. Inner city schools have better computers than we do.
But they have one prospect that really is interested in funding the science department, and he does not want Klump to mess it up.
He's considering donating a $10 million grant to this school. And I want that money, Klump. Your job depends upon it. I'll let you know how to handle it since I'll be watching you. Now go.
But, no, not yet. Before he leaves, he's got to, first of all, get his big fat butt out of the chair, and they gotta play that trombone music. Do you know how fat Professor Clump is? How fat, Michelle? Professor Clump is so fat that when he's writing on the chalkboard, his big fat misshapen stomach just erases everything that he was starting to write.
I seem to have messed myself.
Professor Clump is so fat that after he just erased his work with his stomach, everybody just laughs at him and leaves.
Make sure you read chapter 4 in your textbooks on genetics.
And then he goes to his secret stash of candy and binges on it. And of course, we cannot have a movie without a love interest that would never be interested in the first place.
Professor Clump?
That's right, Jada Pinkett Smith with hair and no comment from Chris Rock about she looks like G.I. Jane.
Hello. Hi, I'm Carla Purdy.
Hello, Miss Purdy.
I'm a grad student and I'm teaching my first intro chemistry class across the hall.
Yep, that seems about right in movie universe. Extremely overweight older man with young fit grad student. That would absolutely never happen in real life, but in movie universe, it always does. Have you ever noticed that? Like Kevin James, Adam Sandler comes to mind. They're always like able to just get the hottest, most successful like model chick. So of course, fat, quirky Mr. Clump makes the whole situation awkward because she's attractive.
I just had to come over here and introduce myself because I followed your work for many years and I'm a big fan.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm flattered.
That night, Mr. Clump goes to his family's house to have dinner, and guess what? Yup, they're all fat.
With your family every now and then? Well, I've been real busy with my research.
I don't want no potato. You know mashed potatoes give me gas.
And if you want to take just a little preview of what my family looked and acted like when I went to go visit. Honey, here it is.
Sherman, I cooked all this food. Is that all you gonna eat? Hey. What's wrong with you? You're supposed to eat that thing, not scalp it.
Hi, I want you to experience the whole thing, and it's pretty long, so all you have to do, just follow my instructions. Just stare right now. Look into my eyes. Do not look away. Stare into my eyes so that I do not get copyright striked. We just need to go for about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're almost done. Keep it looking. Come a little closer, and next scene.
Get healthy, get in shape. Get everybody looking all anorexic, talking about that's healthy. I know what healthy is. And tell you something else. I don't know why everybody trying to lose weight in the first place.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm back. Just me. Look into my eyes just a little bit more, tiny bit more. Keep it going right here. You and me, and go again.
I don't know what it is. Everybody want to be the same size. Like that Oprah Winfrey. She gonna lose her weight. Wasn't nothing wrong with her. She was fine.
And that's my family, people. Anytime anyone would bring up weight loss.
You like your problem, man? It don't work out. I exercise. Look at me.
And that's exactly how my family would always act. You're big and strong. For some reason, big fat men, I feel, are a little bit more celebrated. Not now, but back in the day. If it was like a fat man, they would think, oh, he's big. He's big and big. That's a man.
Oh, Hercules.
But a big fat woman's just a nasty big fat woman.
Your metabolism start to speed up. You can eat anything you want. Go on. Knock yourself out.
And when I heard that, that's when I started overtraining and then overeating because all of the excess training made me very hungry, had no clue how to control it, and I would start binging. My family members would always tell me, you're an athlete. Your metabolism is through the roof. You're supposed to eat. Honey, I took that to the extreme. Don't listen to them. You don't need that much food. So the comments from Professor Clump's dad really bothers him. His weight bothers him. His looks bothers him.
Thanks for dinner, Mama. Sherman, what's wrong with you? Baby, you still worried about what your father said in there?
He wants to lose weight, but he can't. He's tried everything, and his mom notices this and gives him the whole traditional mom speech.
You are special. And when the good Lord made you, he made you beautiful inside and out.
That doesn't change my insecurities, Mom! But thanks. Professor Clump then walks home to get those steps in and passed by an area that sounded very familiar. Why? Because this is where Miss Percy lives. So then he musters up the courage, walks right up those stairs, slowly, to Miss Percy's front door, rings the doorbell, and runs away.
Professor?
And so he does the whole, oh, I was just working out outside your door, you know, my normal routine.
Little step aerobics I was doing out here.
Outside your door, just doing steps.
98, 99, 100.
Outside your specific apartment. Oh, you live here? I didn't know.
List your address up in the factory directory. Hope you don't mind.
Oh, yes, I do mind. The fuck? Yes, the hell I do mind, sir. I don't care how fat and jolly and nice you are. You do not show up at my house at an address that I never gave to you. Actually, I never caught this. I thought she gave him the address. No, that's not what happened. He looked it up. I thought this was a very sweet moment. This changes everything for me. That's not sweet. That's creepy.
I was wondering one night if when you...
Girl, just help him out. He was going up the steps. He's out of breath. He's already socially awkward. He needs some help.
Weren't busy.
Might get a little hungry. You might want to, if you're planning on going out to get something anyway, on an occasion like that, you don't want to do that alone, so...
Professor, are you asking me out on a date?
And what does she say that's totally realistic, at least in this universe?
I'd love to.
And just like that, it's time for their date. How lucky is he? Young, smart, gorgeous, fit woman meets her while he's shoving candy down his mouth, awkwardly talks to her, can't even look her in the eyes, gets her address from the school, and then shows up randomly at her house at night, asks her out on a date, couldn't even bring out the words to say it. She pretty much asked herself on a date for him. And she says yes. Very realistic. But he is extremely happy about her saying yes, obviously. So what does he do? Go home and eat.
I waited all day long just to hold you in my arms.
And while he's sitting on the couch, he is bombarded by a lot of fat-phobic diet culture ads.
Master Plus is designed to give you better results quicker. I lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Thanks, Megashake.
And he's just so excited, so full, probably crashing from whatever he ate, that he just falls asleep and has this dream where he is frolicking on the beach with Miss Percy, and he ends up making out with her and then squishing her until she is engulfed in the sand and dies. And this lights a fire under his butt cheeks. This motivates him to move, work out, and try to be healthier and lose weight. So you know what time it is. Cue the training montage. So now it's time for the infamous date where they go to a comedy club, and I always use this scene in a lot of my body positive videos because it is hilariously accurate. So that's Dave Chappelle, and he starts making fun of everybody. Women wearing a weave.
Unbelievable, look at this. Look like a handful of curly fries.
Makes fun of some white guy.
Well, I do that on what is a weave exactly?
And everyone is laughing, including Professor Clump and Miss Percy. They're having a good old time, but then Mr. Clump starts to realize that the comedian is working his way towards him, and he says, oh, let me go to the bathroom really quick. Problem is, Professor Clump is a very large man, and the comedy club has very limited space.
Get it for you. It's a full moon tonight.
And the comedian went in. Professor Clump pretty much just handed his fat butt cheeks on a platter, a golden platter, for this comedian to start making a lot of fat jokes.
Put his belt on with the boomerang.
Tons of fat jokes, you know.
Last time this fellow found a breast, it was in a bucket of KFC.
Titty jokes.
Sucking whose titties over here?
And all of a sudden, he ain't laughing no more. And neither is Jada, looking like she did in the audience when Chris Rock said she looked like G.I. Jane. So this part was always my part that I hated to get to when I was younger. I felt so bad. Like Lizzo said in her comments, she felt so bad for Professor Clump.
I
I felt super bad for him too. And I felt bad for myself because I felt the same way that Professor Clump felt. Like I didn't feel good in my body. I wanted to change my body, but I was also stuck. I didn't have the education as to how to change my body in a healthy way. All I did was fad diets, which I quit at because there's no way in hell that I'm gonna be hungry. I can't be hungry on a diet. And if you crack that code, you will be very successful in your weight loss. Never be hungry. But I hated that comedian because of the way that he made Professor Clump feel and the way that he made me feel. I hated his stupid buck teeth, his stupid hat. He was the villain to me. But then as an adult, I'm like, Michelle, he was making fun of everybody else's looks. And for some reason, when they got to the fat guy, and because it connected to you in some way, then you're upset? Which is very, very relevant to the fat positive community because everybody gets made fun of for their looks, including short men all the time. You know, for something that they can't control, but with weight, they think that that is just too far. You can't make fun of someoe's weight. Comedy's comedy. You either laugh or you don't.
Look, that comic tonight, he was... Sherman, you are a brilliant man.
You've known him for a few hours, Jada, calm down. So what does he do after his horrific night at the comedy club after being fat shamed in front of everyone and everybody laughing at him? Probably what I would have done, gone home and cry and eat. So then he crashes from all the sugar and has an extreme nightmare where once again, he is huge. And then he rips ass.
He's gonna blow!
And the whole town just blows up. So he wakes up from that horrid nightmare and takes one look at that gallon of ice cream, puts it down and decides to take matter into his own hands. The insecurity, the comedian, the binge that he just did, which has left him feeling empty, drove him into hyperdrive. He needs to speed up this weight loss journey, stat. He is absolutely done with this workout bullshit, this stupid dieting, and this annoying consistency. It's time to get scientific. So he goes to the lab and now he's ready to be the guinea pig. Shelly did her time. He wants to reconstruct his DNA to make him thin immediately. He wants that thin privilege. He can almost smell it. And he wants to look good for his new boo. He wants a comedian to not make fun of him when he bends over and picks something up and his big fat butt is all over the place.
Shelly, you've been a guinea pig long enough. It's time to see if this stuff really works.
So he drinks the juice. They show us this amazing technology that they had in this time period, and he starts to morph. Oh yeah, into a thin.
I'll be dead. I can see my dick.
And now it's time to soak up that sweet, sweet thin privilege. Oh yeah, you guessed it. Workout montage, thin privilege style. He can run, he can find clothing, tons of clothing. He doesn't have man boobs anymore.
Titties. No titties.
But how is he gonna explain this to everyone at school, especially Miss Purdy?
Do I know you?
Do you know me? Sherman didn't tell you about me?
No.
Oh, man. Isn't that like Sherman to hog all the credit? I'm Sherman's confidant.
Yep, that'll work. So pretty much he says that he is Sherman's, Professor Clump's, better half who has helped him with all of his research. He's like the backbone of the research. And he also helps Mr. Clump with his confidence.
You know, it's strange that a man as intelligent as Sherman, he has no confidence whatsoever. Make me sick sometimes. And I'm always telling the man, Sherman, no matter what, you got to strut. You got to suck in your gut and strut.
And Sherman, who is now thin, has this confidence that he's never had before. He can move, he can see his dick. So he decides to ask her out while thin.
I don't even know your name.
Hey, buddy, what the hell happened?
And that is the name that he decides to give the thin version of himself.
See, everybody knows Buddy.
So then he starts, sweet talking her, using that Buddy Loves voice to, get her into a date.
Buddy.
Buddy. Is that it, or do you have a last name?
Love.
Love.
And he's very confident, being very sly, cool. And unfortunately, the potion doesn't last all that long and he gets fat voice back.
There comes a time in a man's life when he has to... What I'm trying to say, Miss Purdy, is there's a right time and place.
And he starts getting the fat fingers.
For everything.
So then he rushes her out before he morphs back fully into his old fat self.
Uh-oh.
But this is absolutely perfect right now because he is pretty much Buddy Love's wingman. So he teaches his classes in his normal fat self and then meets right back up with Miss Percy to make sure to put in a good word for Buddy Love.
He asked me out and he said it was your idea.
Oh, did it? And I think you should definitely go out with Buddy Love.
Oh, Professor Sherman, you sly dog, you. So of course for the date, he makes sure to drink the potion again because he can't go back to being fat. He has tasted what thin privilege feels like and he ain't going back. And the taste of thin is sweeter than any candy that he can ever get his hands on. And for the date, Professor Klump goes all out. He gets a car that he would not normally be able to fit in.
Be careful. If you're scratching the car, it's scratching your ass.
And like I said, he must have had a lot of confidence because he left the girl that he really, really liked, that he knew for what now, a couple days now, at the comedy club for quite some time.
You are too fine to be giving me curbside service.
I'm not. I'm leaving.
What you talking about leaving? We just got here.
No, you just got here. I've been waiting for you for almost an hour.
But you see, he's got pretty privilege and thin privilege. And with that comes impeccable convincing skills.
My car ran out of gas. I needed fresh drawers. My mother's sick. The car broke down the street.
And with those skills, he is unstoppable, so she decides to stay.
Okay.
Okay, good, let's eat.
So they're at the same spot that they went when she went on a date with Professor Klump, and guess who comes dancing out? And Buddy Love is just obnoxious, more obnoxious than the stupid comedian. He just keeps screaming, laughing real loud, choking on his food. And then Professor Klump, or Buddy Love, finally gets the chance to get his revenge. Oh yeah, he starts making fun of the comedian's looks.
That ain't work with me doing it to you, Reggie. Yes, it would if I would say, look at Reggie's gums and teeth. Look like his mother had an affair with Mr. Ed.
And surprise, surprise, Mr. Bucktooth McGee doesn't like to be made fun of or laughed at. You know, the same thing that he's done to everybody else.
Reggie, your breath is so stink, people look forward to your fart.
The comedian gets so mad, so upset, so insecure about everybody laughing at him and the tables being turned that he threatens Buddy Love with his fist.
I'm proud of these people. But now it's time for Reggie to karate-size your ass. Woo! Oh, yeah.
Y'all, I forgot about the hair. And for some reason, Professor Klump, now that he's thin, has these impeccable reflexes. And he's not done. He bangs the comedian's head against the piano and then proceeds to do his own rendition of Lovin' You by Minnie Riperton and using the comedian as a dummy.
Loving you is easy come. You're beautiful.
And Miss Percy absolutely loves it. Is this why Will Smith went up on stage and slapped the shit out of Chris Rock when Chris Rock was making fun of Jada? He saw this movie and was like, oh shit, this is a no-brainer. Walks up and slaps. Is this what you were channeling, Will Smith? Anyway, they have a great time. They even kiss, but then.
That kiss was probably the most wonderful kiss I've ever.
Your lip.
Yep, the transformation has already begun into fatness. So he rushes out.
Cab and I gotta go to the drugstore and get some Benadryl and Kaopectic. Excuse me, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
And coincidentally, the nerd from school was just at the bar by himself because he's a nerd, doesn't have any friends, and he sees that the bartender put the card down that Buddy Love put down, and he puts it down right next to the nerd, Jake.
Hey, Professor Klump is here?
Yeah.
Where is he?
There he is, right there.
That guy give you this credit card?
And he's like, he's way too thin to be Sherman.
That's not Professor Klump.
Uh-oh, everything's starting to go downhill. One person knows that you're lying. You're not actually thin.
Okay, fella, what are you doing with the professor's credit card? Where'd you get it?
So then he morphs so hard back into his regular self that his feet get so fat and they're so heavy they press on the pedals, which take them through the city, driving backwards. He can't control the car, and Professor Klump fully morphs back into his regular, normal self.
Professor? Hello, Jason.
And he's so big that they have to cut him out of the car because he cannot move and he just can't fit through the door. The car is fat phobic. So now Professor Klump has another problem. He had so much fun slamming comedians' heads against piano keys, he's just stayed out too late, woke up too late, and got to school late. His whole class just left.
The class left 20 minutes ago. Trying to see how the students will respond to
Teacherless environment. Teacherless environment.
And you know the car? I'm sure you're wondering how he got it. How did a professor afford this car? He used the school's card.
My car's in the shop, so you put a $47,000 luxury car in your faculty account.
But that's not why the dean is there. He's got better news, or more important news to get to, and he needs to make sure that Professor Klump knows that he cannot mess this up. There is someone that wants to fund the science program, a very, very rich man. He's willing to give a $10 million grant if he can hear the professor's proposal about the science program. All he has to do is show up on time, speak clearly, be confident, and that's it. And Professor Klump says, you have absolutely nothing to worry about.
That's a wonderful idea, sir. Absolutely, and I promise you, I will not let you down.
And the dean says, I know I have nothing to worry about, because if anything goes wrong,
I'm going to kill you. And I don't mean that as a euphemism. I'm going to literally kill you.
And Professor Klump is a little nervous because he's obese, awkward, can't talk to people, gets very nervous, and his butt keeps running into things and just messing everything up. So he thinks that he should maybe just bring Buddy Love instead. So he goes to the lab, and Jake is just there to rain on his parade and say, it's not the best thing. You were very different last night.
This guy's testosterone levels are right off the charts. He was mean last night. It was so unlike you.
But Professor Klump doesn't care. Being Buddy was amazing and literally the complete opposite of his normal life. People liked him, he was confident, and he got the girl.
The way people talk to him and treat him, and the way she looks at him.
But he's dangerous.
But he don't care. He ain't listening, okay? He's got too much to do and not enough time to get thin. Miss Percy doesn't look at him like she looks at Buddy Love. He got the kiss. So he says, fuck it, and drinks the skinny potion when Jake wasn't looking.
Proposal? You never seen a brother wearing a circus tent before? Black man can't go camping?
And somehow tricks Jake to go into the back and then locks Jake back there so he can't be stopped. Eddie Murphy's mouth is so big. So remember, they have the proposal dinner tonight. So how is he going to somehow give this speech at the proposal dinner as Buddy Love? Well, he decides to ask Miss Percy out on a date at the same area where the proposal dinner is. The dean is so flustered because there's no Professor Klump and he's extremely late, but Buddy knows all of the professor's research.
Come on, let's go. No, you know Sherman's research. He's 40 minutes late for a meeting. Why don't you fill in for him?
And Buddy is more than happy to fill in for Professor Klump. A little too happy. And very confident.
You know Sherman's research? Who's he? Who are you?
You might say I'm a visiting professor who might be staying for a little while, and I do know Sherman's work. In fact, I am Sherman's work.
Buddy!
And for some reason, Buddy absolutely kills his speech by fat shaming all the fat people in the crowd. The fat women.
Taking on a gelatin sort of vibe, and it's quite nasty.
The fat man.
Now to my left, this gentleman has turkey neck.
Black woman.
This young lady is suffering from what I like to call tank hands.
Nobody is safe. So the dean is like, oh shit. But then Buddy starts explaining that we can easily change these people's fat, misshapen bodies. And the rich guy is like, huh, now that sounds interesting and very profitable. Buddy really sells the pill that will make you skinny instantly. No diet, no working out, just take a pill and you can have a nice ass.
Harlan, it's an outrage. I assure you he has no affiliation with this school. He's brilliant. Exactly my point.
So the rich guy absolutely loves him. And there's only one more step that they have to do to get this $10 million grant. All they have to do is go to the rich people's fundraiser ball, because that's what rich people do. They don't have parties, they have balls.
Hartley loved you. He's going to be at the alumni ball tomorrow night. If you can prove to him the formula works, the $10 million is ours.
And all he has to do is go and just prove to everyone on stage that the formula works. A little presentation. And if he does this, the dean even wants to replace fat Professor Klump with thin, more likable Buddy Love.
How'd you like to fill in for Professor Klump on a more permanent basis?
You know, that's exactly what I had in mind.
The thins are always taking the fat people's jobs. This movie just proves it. So everything is going really well. He's thin, he's well liked, confident, rich people like him.
He's brilliant.
He's got the girl. Oh wait, Carla was in the bathroom when three girls were actually talking about Buddy Love and all the things that he said to them.
Talk to me first. Hey, I'm one of the gluteus minimus. You guys just chill? I said you can handle all three of us.
And she ain't too happy.
With a name like Buddy Love, I bet he can.
Yeah, she didn't like that too much. The thinness is definitely going to his head and his penis.
Carla, are you ready to go upstairs? I guess not.
But it doesn't matter. He's got a new love interest. 3 new love interests.
Golly! The
Professor Clump would absolutely never treat her like this. Fat men in general would never. At least in this world. In real world, I dated some chunky men and they got the same confidence as Buddy Love. They be having some balls. Fat ones. So Buddy is so well liked that he was like, hey, party at my place. He even burned all his diet meals because he doesn't need them anymore. He's got the magic pill.
Oh, yeah! That's what I call burning calories.
He even had a threesome, and it must have been good because he used up all the skinny juice and he's fat again. And Miss Percy's at his apartment to see if he's okay.
Sherman!
And he is trying to like rush her out really quick because those girls are still in the back room. And she's like, wait. She's extremely upset that she met Buddy Love, but she also wants to apologize because she was the one that suggested that he talks to the old rich guy for the grant speech. And Buddy took all the credit for his research. And then...
Now Dean Richmond. Where's Buddy?
Yeah, now she thinks that both Buddy and Professor Clump are the pigs. Literally. Pun intended.
Sure, you is not what it appears to be.
And you're no better than he is. You are just as sick as Buddy, and I don't want to see you or him again.
And he gets his ass evicted.
Eviction notice?
And he finds out that he's getting fired.
Professor, what did you do last night? Jason, I had such a bad hangover. I honestly do not remember.
So yep, Buddy is literally taking over his body. It's a whole different person. But Dean Richmond is extremely excited to rub it in Professor Clump's big fat face. And how is he going to do this? Make more fat jokes.
You see, Chubby, you're not only fired from this institution, but I'm going to make sure you never get hired by any of the colleges in the state, the country, the world, maybe even the universe. Unless, of course, they're looking for teachers on planet Fat.
There it is. So what does Professor Clump do? Goes home and eats a tray of muffins and cries. And while he's eating this tray of muffins, he accidentally, flips the TV, the VCR on, and he sees that Buddy recorded a whole ass video exclusively for him.
Hey, tank ass! If you're receiving this message, that means that you probably went and plucked back up to your usual fat, sorry, stuff my face till I'm almost dead self.
So basically, Buddy Love is like, hey, Fatty Chops, you need to go back to the lab and, let me take over. Because you had the time of your life yesterday. If you let me take over your body, we will have women, praise, popularity, money. Come on, man, drink the potion because you can't beat me, you fat tub of fat.
You can't beat me!
Yes, I can!
This was just such a power trip to me when I watched this when I was little. I was like, yes, he's gonna do it. And he goes down to the lab and starts pouring out all the drink.
We have seen the last of Buddy Love.
And Professor Clump wants to go to the fundraiser. He wants to get his life together. He's gonna get that $10 million grant in his own body. And then they cut off to a clip to the fundraiser ball where his parents are there complaining about the food.
Oh, come on now, look at this. I can't eat this.
Why they are there when Professor Clump literally got fired, I'm not too sure. Comedic relief is all I can think of. But he wants to go and he also wants to lose weight the real way, the hard way, the consistent way.
Gotta come from a lot of hard work and exercise and plenty of ease. Goodbye, Buddy Love. Hello, Mega Shake.
But Buddy Love, Mr. Buddy Love is very smart, a smart, thin guy, and he decided to replace the Mega Shake liquid with the blue goo. And he knew Professor Clump was gonna drink it eventually.
Professor, I lost 300 pounds in 30 seconds. Thanks, Mega
And so Buddy Love is good to go after he takes care of Jake. And is instantly just being obnoxious at the fundraiser ball. Just rubbing up on old ladies.
Is that a test tube in my pocket? Am I just happy to see you?
He even told off the dean when the dean tried to cop an attitude with him.
And if I didn't need that money, shut up! Who you think you're talking to, Sherman Clump?
So he's just going insane, and it makes sense because back at the lab, Jake notices that Buddy's testosterone is at 60,000%. So he has to hurry and get to the function because Buddy's going to blow with testosterone. And at the function, Buddy's about to have a whole can, a whole science-y tube thing of this Buddy Love juice.
Ladies and gentlemen, for my final demonstration, look out, David Copperfield. I'm about to make a 400-pound fat man disappear forever.
And if he drinks that juice, that means Professor Clump is gone, and it's all Buddy Love from here on out with his 60,000 testosterone units that he has.
Ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to Sherman Clump.
I hate being called Hamster Boy.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense, and Jake's little punch didn't do anything because Buddy Love has 60,000 units of testosterone. Punches don't affect you at that point. And as he's right about to punch little nerdy Jake,
Don't know when to quit, do you?
Professor Clump's fat fist comes through and is like, no. Professor Clump's will to have his own life and be who he truly is so strong. He fights to get out of Buddy's thin body and transforms in front of everyone back to insecure, awkward, obese Professor Clump. He ends up explaining he was trying to help people, but in the end was very selfish and became who he thought he wanted to be like and weigh and look like, but now he knows that that's not exactly what he wants. And then he says something that many fat positive and body positive individuals say all the time on TikTok and Instagram.
But I learned one thing from Buddy. Life is not about being happy about how much you weigh, just being happy with yourself.
Oh, no one in the crowd is clapping. He needs the fat positive movement in there. They would clap for this. Might even have enough energy to stand. So then after that awkward silence, he just leaves. He books it out. But of course the love interest comes sprinting out and asks, why did you lie to me?
Sherman, wait a minute.
And he says, look, woman, I'm fat. I'm fat as hell. And I knew you wouldn't be interested in me because I'm fat. She did kiss Buddy.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, I'm a big man.
A big man!
Now, I will lose weight, but I'm always gonna be big no matter what I do. So anybody I wind up with is just gonna have to accept me for who I am.
This was extremely fat positive or body positive, right? Accepting himself? And then she says, I accept you for who you are. Please, dance with me.
I don't have a date tonight. Would you like to dance with me?
And then Jake comes out with a new, dress code that will fit a body of Professor Clump's stature.
I thought you might need this. Yeah, I guess I tore this one up, huh?
And he even gets the grant.
I'm giving him the grant. Right? He's a brilliant scientist and gentleman as well.
And so he gets the girl, he gets the grant, he gets to stay fat, and they end it by doing the robot. And that, my audience, is the Nutty Professor. I absolutely loved the movie when I was younger. Did it perpetuate fat stereotypes? Yes. Was being fat pretty much the punchline of all jokes? Definitely. Did I feel bad for the Nutty Professor? Of course. Did I feel bad because it was connected to me being a bigger girl? Yes, definitely. But I absolutely loved this movie and I thought the ending was pretty positive. Be yourself, work hard, no shortcuts. I had no idea people were offended by it when I was young. It really didn't do any type of mental trauma to me. It was just very relatable. It did make me feel bad because I related myself to the character of feeling bad in my body, but I love the message at the end. So do you remember this movie? Did you like this movie? Did the movie offend you? What did you feel while watching this movie? Guys, thank you so much for coming with me to Movie Mondays and checking out this movie. If there's another movie you want to watch with me, let me know in the comment section. And remember, you don't have to be a size 2. Having big biceps is great to have, but not needed to be healthy. But health is very important, and I will see you guys next time.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Hercules.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared.